Okay, for this yoga practice, if you haven't already gathered your props, make sure that you have 2 yoga blocks, a chair, a strap or an old necktie, and a blanket is optional, maybe to pad your head when we get to laying down. And we'll get started. This yoga practice is specifically to build bone and counteract the effects of osteoporosis in the hips, the femur, and the spine. It could be the cervical spine, your lumbar spine, really good for anywhere in your spine, and great for our posture as well. So the thing about this practice is we want to be efficient. You want to do it for maybe 5 times a week. And so maybe have it take 15 to 20 minutes. So we're not going to spend a lot of time centering or warming up, but be sure that your spine is warm when you begin. So check in with your feet. I'm going to turn sideways. Again, that foundation where your feet are about 2 fist widths apart. Lift your toes, lay them down, and check in and make sure that your body weight is literally over the middle of your ankle. Maybe your tailbone dropping down just a little bit. So setting an intention for your practice. Maybe it's to build strength. Maybe it's to follow your breath. Maybe it's to accept where you are in your life's journey. And then inhale, take your shoulders up by your ears, and exhale, just let them drop back and down. And as you do so, sit down into your heels a little bit. And we're going to just gently warm our spine. So holding onto the back of a chair, I invite you to inhale and take your tailbone up, raise your gaze a little bit, not too much extension in the back of the neck. And then exhale and drop your tailbone. If you know that you have a severe curve in your upper back, maybe you don't want to round your back too much, right? Inhale, gently arch. Shouldn't be any pain. Exhale, do what's right for you. Keep your feet as your foundation. So inhale and gently arch. And exhale and hollow out. So this little bend in the knees also going to start to warm our legs. Inhale and gently arch. And exhale and hollow out. And then come on back to Tadasana. You can do these poses in any order. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to show them to you from the standing poses down to the floor. Very first pose, tree pose. You can back up against the wall. You can hold onto a chair. So I want to make sure you practice safely. Most important thing is not to fall. So shift your weight into one leg. Turn that opposite knee out. So there's a line of energy. Knee going way out. Thigh back. Better to stand on one leg and hold on to something than to try and keep your balance with your foot on the ground like a kickstand. It's much more efficient to build bone if all your body weight's on one leg. So 2 more tools you have in your toolbox. Follow your breath, simply inhaling and exhaling. And use your gaze to look at one thing, maybe 6 feet in front of you, that's not moving. And exhale and gently release. So you want to hold every pose for about 30 seconds. So we're going to call that 3 deep breaths. And I'm going to count a little bit just to get you used to the rhythm. So we'll go right into the other side. Again, make sure you're backed up against the wall or holding onto a chair. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Third breath in and out. Fourth breath in and out. Last one in and out. And there you are, tree pose. So these next 3 poses all work with the feet in the same position. We'll start on this side. My foot's going to go against that side. And then this block stands up on the medium height so that we can create heel to arch alignment. I like having the chair in front of me as well. So you're going to step your way, trying to get as much stretch in your inner thighs as you can. Eventually, maybe your shoulders go right over, or your ankles go right under your wrists. I think it's okay to lean back into the wall a little bit, right? So warrior two, look at your big toes of that leg turned out and take the knee right over the middle of the foot. You should still see your ankle. So what's happening here is we're tractioning our hip joint and the femur and even the spine a little bit. So Wolf's Law, everything on one plane, like you're squished between the wall and a piece of glass. And you could take your arms out to the side. Lots of energy outward. Feel like somebody's pulling on your skin in all directions. Your feet are your foundation. One more inhale. And exhale. And go ahead and straighten your leg. So we'll turn out to the other side. So you just have to slowly and gently flip your blocks or imagine that alignment, right? So now my heel of my back leg is going to be against that block, toes pointing toward the edge of your mat, and this foot tucked up the side. So let's get the rhythm. Inhale and exhale. Dropping as deeply as you can. Inhale and exhale. 3 more breaths. And in. You should be building some heat in your body. Inhale and exhale. And go ahead and straighten that leg. So warrior pose. Now we're going to do triangle pose. We're going to keep our feet where they are so we don't have to shift so much. So you're going to soften both knees and then tilt your pelvis, kind of like I'm a little teapot, right? Now the goal here is to bring the ribs straight down. So the action is in the hips. You want to try and get your body to be one long line from the crown of the head down into the pelvis. All right, so I'm using the wall for support. I'm going to wrap this top hip kind of under and forward. That's going to help me open up my chest. Hand on the thigh or the shin. No weight in the knee. Maybe you want to take your top arm up. Let's take a couple more breaths on this side. Use that inhale to raise yourself back up. We're going to stay here again. Exhale. Back into those warrior two legs. So I'd be efficient about getting into these poses, right? Forearm on the thigh. You could hold on to the chair for support. You could sweep your arm up. Again, same thing. We want to think about taking the rib cage toward the thigh. One long line. So got to work pretty hard. But remember that yoga teaches us to cure what can't be endured and to endure what can't be cured. One more breath. Inhaling. Come on, back up. So we're going to switch to the first side of those other two poses, triangle and extended side angle. So I'm going to switch my blocks. All right. Again, just be mindful of your knees as you transition. First triangle pose. So soften your knees, tilt your pelvis. I'm a little teapot, right? Firm up those legs. Take your rib cage down. Get a nice stretch right here. See if you can lean back into the wall. Get that body on the same plane. And inhaling. Come on, back up. So right into extended side angle, warrior two legs. Exhale. Forearm on the shin. And keep that length in the spine. Right. Take that arm right up by your ear. Relax your jaw. Maybe even put a half smile on your face. Makes everything easier. Stay light in the elbow. Work hard. And pull the low belly in and come on back up and turn those toes in. So that's your first 4 poses. Tree pose, warrior two, triangle, and extended side angle. So this last standing pose is our twist. I'll show you how you can use the blocks to align your body safely. Let's see, put my chair up here, I'll pick out a little elephant. A little further. So I'm going to have my front foot, inner edge of the foot, right against those two blocks. And then step back, not quite as far, so maybe 2.5 to 3 feet apart. You're going to keep your hips facing the short edge of your mat, right? And your shoulders. Should be in pain in the knee. Back toes, pinky toes are against the wall, and then you're going to fold straight forward with a flat spine. So you want to keep the back of your pelvis level. Keep your hand on your thigh, make that thigh work, or your shin, or you could find the chair. You're going to pull your low belly in, hand on your hip, and twist from your waist. Again, keeping your pelvis level. So this is super challenging, right? Root your feet. Maybe you take your top arm to the ceiling. Take a couple more breaths. You could just look down at the ground if that's easier. And exhaling gently, release. So to come out of it, I want you to bend that front knee, hands to the thigh. So the nice thing about having a wall is most likely if you start to lose your balance, you're going to fall into the wall this way. All right, so let's turn it around and we'll do the other side. I'll leave the chair and just do it with my hand on my leg. The front foot tucked up there against those two flat blocks, back foot steps back of 2.5, maybe 3 feet. Hips are forward. I'm going to fold straight over, keeping that front leg straight. You can just already feel this kind of challenging in the pelvis, this asymmetrical pose, and then twist from the waist. Keep pushing into the feet. You can tuck yourself into the wall if you need some balance help. Couple of breaths. Spine long. Go a little deeper if you can. And then release. Bend that front knee. Look forward. Coming up safely. And come back to Tadasana. Take a breath. Just notice how your body feels. So if you were to do those poses away from the wall, just holding on to the chair, this is what it would look like. You've got your heel to arch alignment, right? Back foot arch goes right under the strap. Don't use the strap, just so you can see the alignment, right? Those 3 poses. And if you were doing that twist away from the wall, right? You want to be sure that your front foot is on one side of the strap, your back foot's on the other side of the strap, right, so you've got a nice wide stable base. Right, so that could be helpful if you're doing it away from the wall. And then we're going to come safely to seated. You're going to take one leg right back behind you, front knee over the ankle, hold on to a chair, the wall, a block. You're going to pull your low belly in and float your knee down. So keep your feet rooted as you come to the floor. Try not to let them get away from you, right? Okay, so we have 2 seated twists and our leg stretch series. So, first seated twist, we're going to use the wall. You're going to stretch one leg out, the leg furthest from the wall out, and bend your other knee. Right, sit up really, really tall and twist toward the wall. If you wanted to challenge yourself, you could put your hands against the wall. But keep squeezing your inner thigh inward. Extended leg working. And exhaling, gently release. Stretch that leg out, give it a shake. So I'll just turn forward for the second twist. We're going to twist that same direction. So you take your leg and you bend it if you can. Knee tucked under, and then cross the other foot over. You can see how I could stand up on this foot, maybe, right? Keeping it rooted. Drop both hips evenly. Inhale, get really, really tall. And exhale. twist toward the top leg. Couple breaths. And exhaling, gently release. We'll go right to the other side. So leg furthest away from the wall extends out. Cross one foot over and twist toward the wall. Sit up tall and exhale, twist. So if you're having trouble sitting up straight on the ground, do these in a chair. Make the same shape. One more deep breath. And exhale, gently release. Twisting toward the same side again, so I'm going to tuck that extended leg under. Sit up tall, root that top foot, and exhale. Twist toward the top leg. Maybe even close your eyes. Just notice what you feel in your body. Keep your shoulders level, spine straight. Nice. Okay, so 2 gentle back bends, great for our posture, but also important for our spine. So we're going to come onto our belly. Do that safely by coming onto your side, and then onto your belly. Make a pillow fight over your head with your hands. Locate your feet. Think about spreading your toes wide and pushing the tops of the feet into the mat. So we're going to do one version of Locust Pose. Right? On an inhale, you're going to lift your heels, squeeze your inner thighs together. And then on your next inhale, if there's no pain in your low back, lift your shoulders and reach your fingertips towards your heels. So if this feels like too much, go ahead and relax your legs and just put your hands under your shoulders. Two more breaths. Use those inhales to raise yourself up. And exhaling, gently release. Roll back onto that side that you used, right? Bend your knees so you can safely take yourself onto your back. So you could come away from the wall for this. When you do both sides, you'll need that space. And just gently draw your knees into your chest. And then wrap the strap right around the ball of one foot. Now, if you're feeling pretty flexible, you can stretch your bottom leg out and reach that thigh toward the ground. So you want to keep your arms walking up the strap. You could use an old necktie and your shoulders drawn toward the ground. So you're pushing your foot into the strap and pulling down on your foot into your hip. Really draw those toes back toward the knee. Then hold that strap with one hand, same hand as the leg in the air. Take your other hand and stick it on top of your thigh. And then take the leg out to the side, only as far as you can go, keeping the opposite side of the body rooted to the ground. Pull your low belly in to bring that leg back up. Release the strap and take a moment to stretch one leg out next to the other and just notice how it feels. So again, you could have come away from the wall, and then that way you won't have to switch sides. I'm just going to turn around, right? Do it safely. Do that same thing on the other side. So strap around the ball of the foot, bottom leg stretched out if you can. So if you're having trouble kind of keeping the back of your neck long, you could take a blanket and tuck it under your head. That's going to help keep your spine straight there. So pulling the foot into the hip, pushing away with the strap, arms nice and long. strap in one hand, other hand on the top of the thigh, only going as far as you can safely, right? Keeping this opposite side of the body rooted. Keep pulling the foot in toward the hip and pushing out through the strap. So it's all this friction that's building bone. And pull the low belly in. Come on back up. Release that strap. And now bend to the other knee and bring that foot in. So one last pose, bridge pose. Maybe you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Spread your collarbones wide. Bend your elbows, reach your fingertips toward the ceiling. So you're going to use the shoulder blades and your upper arms for some leverage. And then check in with those feet. They're still your foundation. Keep the body weight right in the middle. So don't let the big toes come up. And inhale, lift your hips. So you could close your eyes here. Back of the neck is long, like you're bringing your rib cage toward your nose. One more deep breath. Can you lift a little higher? And then exhaling, go ahead and drop your hips and take a breath. So that's a great reset for your body. So the 12th pose, perhaps the most important pose of all, Shavasana. Give your body a chance to absorb all that healing energy. It's okay with your low back. Stretch your legs out. Get any props out of the way. Perhaps let the palms face up. Nothing to do until you hear my voice again. So wiggle your fingers and toes, get moving in the opposite direction. So extremities first, the wrists, flexing the ankles. Eventually you want to draw your knees into your chest so that you can safely roll to one side. And push yourself back up to seated. So any easy seated position where your spine is nice and long is fine. You can get back in a chair, just standing up safely. So remembering that you have to work hard, but the effort is worth it. Inhaling, get nice and tall, one more time. Exhaling, bowing your head to your heart, into this body that you're taking care of, that is taking care of you on the journey. Spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Stay strong. Namaste.